What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. And listen, we got a lot we got to talk about. I have my co-host with me here today, Kenny Lowe's Ninja Son. Y'all, we got some news that we want to share with you guys, and I'm going to be very clear. This is a conversation that I have had. These are some things that have been talked about. It is in discussion from what I received. So this message came from third party. And however, the same source that I received the other information about before we got in heavily into AI. And I told you guys when this all went down that AI was going to be replacing a lot of creators and they were going to come up with all these rules. This is the very same person that told me this information. Okay. So I'm pretty certain that when we are going forward with YouTube, this is something that many creators need to pay attention to. I have my, like I said, co-host with me here, Kenny Lowe's Ninja Son. And the reason why I have this on Nolan is because I'm using this for an example. This is very important. If you have not heard me, you need to hear me tonight. YouTube is going to probably be making some changes. I heard that there is some discussion going on. I don't know when this may take place, but I'm certain that we will start seeing some changes over the next few months, maybe years or so, but I'm sure that it will start happening if we continue going through all of these different things. All right, so let's talk about it really quick. I received some information today that there is some type of discussion that is going on about YouTube and how independent creators may be affected. And I had Kenny here because I wanted Kenny to also talk with me a little bit about it. We're going to try to be as brief as possible. But I have been telling you guys for a long time, the reason why I stopped personally using YouTube is because I felt like they were not fair. The algorithm started being a problem. AI came about. They weren't giving creators enough pay for what their hard work was. It just felt like, YouTube was very just faulty. I don't know. Now, we're going to just say that conversations are brewing at this point. And when the Nolan Wells case came about, we started seeing situations where people started creating their own analysis. A lot of people were reporting things that were not true. And we've seen this particular type of thing with many different cases. I'm just using Nolan for example, because Nolan Wells is probably one of the hottest crime news stories that they have right now, because everybody is reporting on this that has a YouTube channel. Now, here's the thing. The concern is that YouTube could eventually crack down on creators who report major news stories while adding information, theories, or context that cannot be verified. So in other words, if people are saying YouTube may want creators to stick strictly to the verified facts instead of allowing speculation, unsupported claims. And this has not been confirmed as of yet, but it has become a major topic of discussion. Let me just be very clear. When I say major topic of discussion, Kingdom Influence Media, we don't put out content that we feel like, this is just poo, okay? We're telling y'all what's really happening, okay? Because me and Kenny were on it when I got the news about AI. And I said, Kenny, YouTube is going to have a blackout, and I'm pretty sure people are going to start struggling with their channels. And sure enough, not even few months, Kenny, I don't even know how long that had been, we started seeing people with the YouTube channel struggling with AI and all these different types of things. Now, here's another thing. I'm explaining y'all what I mean when I'm saying that we're going to have issues. This is where the other issue comes about, because CNN filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, as you guys know. Now, what y'all don't understand is the reason why CNN, a major news company, filed that lawsuit is because it feels like their information were being taken, and OpenAI was actually copywriting. Well, it was breaking the copyright law for their content. Okay. So if publishers invest money, reporters, like I was telling Kenny earlier, photographers, crews, all these people for this content, some believe that independent creators are making significant income by using these reports without creating enough original material themselves. So like when YouTube says YouTube, initially YouTube was supposed to be for only your content, your stuff, what you do. So let's just say you put up a video on YouTube, and this is what I hate, Kenny, about YouTubers. They can create a video, right? But as soon as a news outlet posts that video up on their website and say, hey, look at what we found, and we're going to report the happy news, right? they would get upset and say, well, I didn't give the news credit to use that. If you ever notice that when you're hearing the news and the news stations say they want somebody's picture or something about I don't know, here I know in Florida and as well as in North Carolina, if a picture's taken and they say, wow, that's a beautiful picture of the sky, they always give credit to that person who created it. Or they'll say, let me contact that person to see if they'll let me put it on the news. You know what I'm saying, Kenny?
Yeah, because here in Atlanta, on the Atlanta news, if they do that, then Fox 5 here do give the person credit. Or if they don't announce their name, they at least have their handles down in the, at the bottom of the screen, so you can actually see where it come from.
So they had to get this permission. They didn't just willingly just put somebody's stuff up there and say, we're just going to use this on the news. So what I'm saying to you guys is, if you have a YouTube channel, YouTube is going to start making this a part of the routine, that if you're not following these guidelines by asking first, if it's okay for you to report the story, that maybe CNN, NBC, ABC, who else is there? There's so many types of news stations today, even creators coming up with their own news stations, and they ain't even going out there getting the information. If you are doing that, YouTube could basically strike down your channel, and you would be responsible for either a lawsuit for taking copywritten, content, or they'll strike your channel and your channel will be deleted, meaning you will have to start fresh. But every time you do that, you could possibly be banned for good for putting out other people's material. And this is because they're giving, they're going to create these copyright laws because they feel like people are manipulating, and it could be used as misleading content like spam. They're saying that if this information that you're sharing is not true, let's just say they say, oh, Nolan Wells, man, he went to that part, them kids did that to him. But you don't know that until the news actually reports that. And so if you're reporting something that is false, YouTube could come and say, just like they fact check COVID posts and say, no, this can't be correct. We don't have information that is actually happening. So you need to make sure that you go back and fix this or pull it down. And therefore we have a problem. You understand? And because so many people are creating these false narratives, they're creating their own type of conclusion and they're not valid. This is why YouTube is cracking down on it and saying, look, I'm gonna say they will eventually crack down on it and say, look, we can't allow you to post that because we're going to fact check everything you do because this is misleading. And we don't want any problems with advertisers, news stations. As you guys are showing other news clips from news broadcasts, that is also copyright infringement. Mm-hmm. You cannot take somebody's stuff legally and show it on the screen. Even me and Kenny have done it, and I didn't really think about it until tonight. Like, oh yeah, that is something that a lot of people were doing, and we felt like, well, it's because the screen share. For YouTube, eventually it's going to become a problem because if YouTube gets sued, YouTube is going to create their policies again, and they're going to say, okay, as a creator, you're only responsible for your own content. Why do you think that YouTube asks you whenever you're signing up for a YouTube account, do you want your stuff shared? Is it okay for people to even, right now, Kenny, they have a new update where I realized it yesterday. Do you want people to mention you? You have to have permission to even be mentioned. Mm-hmm. Now, see, because you can't do that without somebody else's permission. You got to have permission from everybody because YouTube is figuring out, wow, Google is figuring out, wow, these are things we're going to have to worry about. And even regular creators could sue us because they didn't give us permission to even mention them.
Now, see, the problem with that is it's going to be hard to try to contact some of these creators because some creators, they come on, they, give the news and then they hop off. Some of them don't even come on for days. And, even if they email or try to, figure out how to get in touch with them, some of them may not even check their emails on a daily basis. So it's like, how can I get in touch with them to ask them for permission if I can't get in, if they're not on, at a certain time. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing I think that's going to be a problem is trying to get in touch with some of the creators to be, to get the permission.
Well, what's going to happen is YouTube is probably going to do these updates again, and you're going to have to sign off on some of these things like you do when you start your channel. They ask you a lot of questions. They want to know your demographic, what your content is about. They also want to know, do you give anyone the right to share your content just like Instagram as well. But these platforms are cracking down because they realize they're facing so many different issues with lawsuits because things are being done out of order. And what I'm saying to y'all is that just because y'all have not had any issues with them at this moment, it does not mean that you won't, because YouTube has a habit of updating their policy every so often, especially when they realize they're in legal trouble. And this is going to be bad because as a content creator, a lot of you guys who have gossip channels or whatever you may be reporting on, you're using news. Because first of all, I was telling Kenny today, even if you go on a news site and they have an article written, when you go down to the bottom of that page, it says all rights reserved for a reason, because this content should not be republished or whatever they say at the bottom. It's telling you that because they don't want you reporting what they have already put out, because that creator, that journalist went and did the work. The photographer went and did the work that went into giving that person the news. And so they don't need anybody else getting paid for their hard work. Technically, that's a crime. You're taking somebody else's copywritten work and you're using it for yourself. This is a crime. So when they put that on the news, this is just not bluff, which is why I created a system that nobody really did at the moment, because people who have blogs, they just want to repurpose. I don't repurpose. I talk about what's going on. And so I'm telling y'all need to be very careful about what is happening, because YouTube is going to get you guys in a lot of trouble. Some of you see some of the heartache and pain that a lot of creators are going through right now, where they can't even afford to pay their bills because they've been sued left and right by celebrities and more, because they're reporting things they have no right to report. So if you see a certain TV show, you can talk about it. But as far as reporting news on someone in that TV show, this could be a problem. I was telling Kenny today, take Bravo, for instance. Kenny loves the Housewives. We used to watch it. The thing is, if Kenny was reporting anything about the Housewives and it wasn't right or it wasn't true, or if Andy Cohen did it and it was their news and somebody takes it from their blog and they put this stuff out there, if YouTube creates this policy, Kenny would be in trouble. His channel would be striked, because no, this is our news. What gives you the right to repeat what we've done and put a spin on it? Because most people do. They repeat it and then put a spin on it, and then they start lying, and it's not true. But if it's not your work, you don't have a right to do that. This is where we're going to have to issue people. YouTube could be dismantled forever. Just like they try to strike your channels or using people's music or video gaming content, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the creator.
I'm just saying, I got 2 videos on my on YouTube right now, specifically saying you cannot download without the person's permission. And I'm like, I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that created it. How do I need permission from someone else to download whatever video I created?
True, but think about this. Let's just say you're playing. Give me a game that you play a lot.
I'm playing Final Fantasy at the moment, and that's the game I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's just say you're playing Final Fantasy and your characters in the game, someone created. The music in the game, someone created. The way the graphics, all of this stuff was created by professionals. And they're saying, hey, we're going to allow you to play our game. However, we're not going to let you make money off of our game because it belongs to us as far as the creation. So let's just say if I took your books, you created the books, and I went online and started reading all of your books on YouTube, which they will literally strike you down for this. And I go and read your books to the people and tell them everything that's in the book. They don't have to buy it anymore, because you know why? I just released everything in your book on social media. You would have a problem with that, correct?
Oh, very.
So this is the thing. This is what YouTube is going to try to spin this thing as, if this discussion that they're having comes to light.
Now, see, this is the thing. YouTube does have a system, like if is, copyrighted music or anything that's spotted in the game that we're playing, they will flag it. Give us a chance to go back, edit it out in order for us to make money off of it. You can edit all that out of it and you can still make money off the off the game, but just not the copyrighted music.
Mm-hmm.
I have no copyrighted music in the in Final Fantasy, because it would tell me, the system would say, this is copyrighted music. It doesn't say that. It's just say you need permission to download, and I'm like, how do I need permission when all my other videos are basically the same?
True. But the thing is, this is going to get even worse, because let's just say we do have a situation where YouTube lets people put out content. They're going to want to know who are you with? Just like any reporter would be asked if they're interviewing Trump or anybody else of relevance, who are you with? Where did you get this information from? And they have a thing called sources, right? Every time you do, I'm a psychology major, they make you put your sources at the end of your papers to show everywhere you got this information and make sure that whatever you're saying is credible, correct? So let's just say YouTube creates this model, and every time you report a story, they're going to say, where did you get this from? We want the sources. Instead of you putting, I got this from CNN, they're not going to have that, because CNN may say, I didn't give you a right to put this out. They could flag just the way they did with movies and music. I didn't give this person permission to use this. And then we have a problem again where, okay, I can't. It's going to become a problem to the point where even if you're not qualified as a journalist or a news outlet, or if you don't have a certain type of degree, which I've been saying they're going to be moving towards this, you got to have a psychology degree or journalist degree or something to prove that you're able to report news. If you don't have that to show, I do believe YouTube is going to ban you from being able to speak, because we already know we have the others against a lot of the others. I'm not going to say, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, like I told you, they already trying to get rid of free speech. They're trying to get rid of the First Amendment. Even for journalists, they're trying to. So
yeah. So even talking about cases, I think they're going to be more so, do you have a right? Where do you have the authority? Because they're trying to get rid of heavy speculation, lies, all this stuff, because that's like misleading and spam. And so YouTube has been taking pride on fact checking. The Google wants to fact check everything. Elon Musk came out with this thing. I'm a create guac so I can tell more lies, because he ain't telling the truth. Okay. I'm just being honest. Half the stuff on that site is not accurate. Even the stuff they reported on me ain't accurate. But I will say this. You're going to always have someone trying to create something, and they're going to want to know what gives you that authority. Because Google has been paid. We all know that Trump had filed a lawsuit and won against Google, because he claimed that they were making up lies about him, and they were he even had it, Kenny, where they were hiding articles about Trump because they did not want him seen. So do you not think that this might happen? Yes, of course.
It's gonna happen. And I told you that, this president, I hate calling him that, but he sues everybody that says anything bad about him. He's trying to censor free speech. He's trying to, and that's what, anything on YouTube that said anything about him, your channel is either struck, demonetized, or you get taken down.
Exactly. Bingo, Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Kenny just broke that down to y'all. The same way Trump was able to do that. Don't you think that CNN, who has a lot of power behind it, TMZ, what are some other places, NBC, anybody who is paying journalists to do this, these networks has tons of money. The same as Trump right now has tons of money. So if he wants to block something, he could block it just as well as any of these companies could block it. I'm just giving y'all what I know. Be prepared. The war has started. The war is starting. Okay. So I'm just telling y'all this little nugget, telling y'all to be prepared, like we told y'all to be prepared for everything else that has happened that we were right about. This is going to be a catastrophe. It's going to be so many people right now that's going to be, and the reason why I feel like this is being heavily talked about too is because it didn't start until Nolan Wells controversy came about. A lot of the others did not like the fact that a black man was actually being talked about, and people were helping solve the case. this became an issue for a lot of people, Kenny. They didn't like that. And seeing the power in the numbers and how the media has created this whole epidemic of these white boys did something to this black man. A lot of the people out there in the world don't like it. And so the only way to stop something like this from ever happening again would be to take the power from the people. And I've always said, just like Malcolm X, just like Martin Luther King, anytime you got knowledge and you got a mouth to speak for something that is right, you will die because of it. I'm telling y'all what I know.
And see, and this is the thing, this is about to get really bad. People out there putting out the misinformation, and like Renee and I was talking about when we said this, in the last thing we said about Nolan, was that people, are out here, they're trying to help, but they don't realize they're hindering the investigation. So going into what I'm about to say about YouTube is, when you're doing that and you're talking about these cases and stuff, you don't realize you're hindering most of the cases when you're putting out speculation about God, when you're trying to speculate and say that this for a fact, when you really don't, when you're not there. That's more hearsay and gossip. If you have not studied or been on the internet or have your sources come to you who was actually there, on site, or people that was that has journalistic integrity to tell this is what it is, it's only hearsay. And that's what YouTube is going to get you guys for, because you're not basically producing facts, you're producing gossip.
Yeah. And even if it's facts, people are going to say, well, who told you that? Because I didn't give that person permission to tell you. And the news outlets could get in trouble because they could actually sign contracts now saying, I only care to disclose this with such and such of this corporation. And this is the only person that I want to report this news from their station. No other station or no other person can report this news. And if they do that, because a person does have a right to say who they want to tell their story. It's just like Lifetime. You try to put a Lifetime movie up. There's a major Lifetime movie, even though I know y'all still a lot of them because I be on there watching them sometimes. Lord have mercy. God says, tell the truth. Y'all know me. I'm a truth teller. And I'm telling y'all be taking them people Lifetime movies and I be watching them sometimes thinking, how in the world they got these people Lifetime movies on this channel? But the thing is, you get strike for that, Kenny. You can't but play people's, and that's the same thing. People are saying, this is my life story. This is my hiccup.
And
unless somebody, whoever else report, if TMZ reports it because they found out something, that's their stuff. You can't take TMZ stuff. Pretty soon TMZ is going to say, well, this is the new update. This is good for us, guys.
Well, you already know Harvey is a lawyer, so Harvey can basically draw up papers to, have people fined and sued. So y'all better be watching, because Harvey doesn't need to go to a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He can do this himself.
Yeah. Because to be honest with y'all, when people create content, they're giving you an opportunity to come listen to whatever they got to report. But I promise you, they're not giving you permission to reuse it. That's a difference.
Well, YouTube is going to be a sad place after people start getting, hit with these, claims and, copyright infringement, lawsuits. So I'm just saying, it's not everybody. It's only the people that is going to the, the news site, the news stations, trying to be, journalists when they're really not, and muddying the waters of certain investigations.
Reporting it is one thing, but then talking about it is different too, because we talk about what we saw, we're like, oh man, that was terrible. But when you start saying, oh, this is what happened, and this, you're reading the articles, you're reporting it from other news stations, it's like you're stealing content that doesn't belong to you. You're airing it, and it's a difference. And they're gonna, trust me, it's gonna be pretty big. And I do believe this is the next step, because Kenny, they want to do everything they can to shut people up.
Of course. I mean, the First Amendment, that's the first thing that, this regime wants to get rid of. So they basically are in the pockets of doing it, because
Mhm.
every outlet now, if you talk about who, they're gonna strike it down. It's not gonna be aired, it's not gonna be seen. And if you continue to do it, YouTube is they take demonetize
Yeah.
you and take you off the platform.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we got to go through this, because see, if you think about it, we have not had this problem with past presidents.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
only started dealing with this now.
Yeah. But I think it's a little bit unfair because we all watch certain things and we do have our opinions. Now, me and Kenny, we come here and we report things that matter. We're not into the mess,
Mm-hmm.
but I have seen channels that will literally talk about people and then they'll turn it into this whole bashing. And then, the person who they're talking about saying, well, how in the world you got even their pictures can be an issue now, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like YouTube could create all these. I've seen YouTube do some crazy stuff. Okay. And there
Oh,
is
it's
no
about
such
to
thing
get
like Kenny
crazy.
says it's free speech anymore. Mm-mm.
It's about to get crazier.
Yeah.
Until this man and his regime is gone, and the whole Congress is restructured with
Mm-hmm.
people who are for free speech. We don't have free speech right now, and it's going to take a while before we can get it back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So y'all best to be careful. That's why I'm into gaming right now. That's why I do gaming, because I don't want to be sued for something that I'm reporting that I see with my own eyes as fact. And if I read it, to try to give everybody, clarification, I could be sued for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go
Mm-hmm.
through that. I ain't got no
Yeah.
money.
So we just want to get y'all with this nugget, and hopefully y'all will do whatever it do with it. But I'm telling y'all, you got to be very careful how you move. And this is not only just for YouTube, because once YouTube implements this, Instagram, Facebook has
Mm-hmm.
always been on one. They won't let you go too far anyway. They'll block you down and take pages
Mm-hmm.
away when they feel like it's getting a little bit
Out of
too
hand.
out of hand, which I do like that about Facebook, because sometimes you have to do things to just protect people. TikTok has gone too far. They've always been too far. I just believe that all of this is going to start being an issue, and normally because Trump started a lot of this stuff with the lawsuits, and of course we had people who lied on people and they were sued in
Mm-hmm.
media. It's just a lot. So I'm just giving y'all the heads up that eventually this type of thing will come crashing down, and you can just expect to see it get worse from here, because even Google, if you have a website and you're reporting something and you didn't have permission to do that and it's lies, or you took it from somebody else, you better credit that source or they probably will pull that page or strike you and say, well, where did you get it from? You didn't properly cite this. They're going to do something like that. I just have a feeling.
Well, I'm gonna say this: you do have creators out there that do credit, because I know I used to be one that credit a lot.
Mhm.
When I was doing that, I always made sure to cite my sources. I always create, thank, well, not thank, but credit the creator who did it. And like I said, I always send people over there to finish reading their stuff.
Mhm.
I'm never the one to say don't give people their credit, because
Mhm.
they worked hard on it. I'm just giving you what they've said, but you need to go and do some more digging on where they got it from, and where
Yeah.
did they come up with the conclusion.
Mhm. It's gonna be bad. I mean, I really never thought that we would be here. I actually kind of thought we would. I just didn't think we'd be here this soon.
Hmm.
I'm just being
Hmm.
honest.
Just look who's running the country. Well, lack
Yeah.
thereof running, but
Hmm.
just
It's all
saying.
because, let's just face it. Let's tell the truth. We all know why this really went down, Kenny. Let's just be
Hmm.
honest. Trump, after everybody was writing so many things about Trump, being mean to Trump, saying all these bad things
Hmm.
about Trump, then it became, oh man, I'm gonna sue the heck out of you because you're talking bad about me, and I dare you to say these things about me. But yet you go on True Social and you do the same thing to somebody else, and this is what I'm saying. So
That's the hypocrisy of it
eh,
all.
exactly, and you know what? That's gonna also happen for True Social too. So they better buckle
Of
up, Buttercup.
course. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna happen for him too.
Yep.
So it doesn't work one way for others and not work. And like they say, the boomerang always come back around.
Yep.
You can't throw the boomerang at us and say, "Oh, y'all talking about me? I'm gonna sue you," but then turn around and do the same.
Yep.
That boomerang comes back around, so it's gonna hit you too.
Yeah.
But he's gonna like, I'm the president, so I get to go. I get to. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
That's right. And it's going to
So
happen because we have been seeing a lot of stuff happening these last few weeks. And I think this Nolan case was really one of the things, Kenny, that really, it's sad that it had to be
sparked it.
Nolan to make people do something like this. But unfortunately, that's how life is.
And
You get
see,
justice, you want
right.
justice, and then that happens.
And see,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this before you end it. The reason why it had to be Nolan because there's so many speculations and lies that people have been saying going
Hmm.
around, and like we said on Friday, is murking the waters of the investigation. And if
Hmm.
this was to go to trial, it would get thrown out because the people that's coming with the evidence may not have true evidence. It may
Yeah.
be doctor evidence from online that they getting
Hmm.
from people online, and the judge gonna look like this is not credible evidence.
Yeah. You're right. Absolutely
So
right.
you're right. It's sad that it had to be Nolan. However, the people making it, out here lying, saying this and that. So of course, it's got to be somebody. I hate it was him too.
Well, you
But
do
people,
know that the only reason why this is happening is because we're talking about a situation where people are getting offended now because it came out to be that these three white boys could have off this young black man. And that is the issue. It's too many
mm-hmm,
voices, too many speculations. And I agree,
mm-hmm.
even with the newest photo that came up with them being in the pool, which looks like it's heavy AI. Um, I don't know. I just wish people would stop. You know.
Yeah, like I said, let the investigators and the report investigative journalists do their jobs to get us the facts. Let
Yeah.
them do that so we can get to the truth, because the more we got internet detectives out here, the worse it's gonna be. If you're
Yeah.
not a police officer, trained police officer or detective, or a investigative reporter who can get to these things, please do not interfere.
Yeah. Please
And this
don't.
is why YouTube is doing exactly what they're doing, because people are out here making up stuff.
Yeah. As they should. As
No,
they
as
should.
they should.
If people are making up these things, I say, Kenny, let them have
They
at it.
need
Do
to.
whatever y'all need to do to control this. But we do know that YouTube is very faulty, Kenny.
Oh, it is very faulty. It's very faulty. You ain't got
They
to tell
snakes in the
me.
grass.
You ain't got to tell me. I've been bit by them twice.
Yes, Lord.
So I know. But I'm saying, if you guys are out here doing this, you guys do need to be deplatformed. And I know Renee she advocates for people to have platforms and not be deplatformed. But if you guys are gonna do this and make these investigations harder, and then now we're gonna have to be censored because of what you guys are doing, you cannot have a platform. Because a
Exactly.
platform is, when you get a platform, you have that responsibility to make sure to put out integrative information.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason why I agree with deplatforming, if and only if you're the reason why YouTube is about to do this.
Yeah. It sucks. It really does because, you know, YouTube is probably doing it for the wrong reasons,
As
but
they always do.
but we know that yes, there has to be some type of control over this stuff, because if I created a network, I want people, this is what was really happening too, because I want to say this very clear. You know how, like, when we see a story on CNN or something, If they have a
Hmm.
popular creator and that creator is always posting up what's going on with CNN, then CNN is not getting the credit anymore. That other person's getting that credit. So I can understand why journalism was getting upset about AI, because AI was basically telling them what the story was about, and they didn't even have any right to tell you what was going on in the news. Like,
Hmm.
what gives you the right to tell somebody something if they want you to come to their website to find out what the news is? I
Hmm.
probably go to AI right now and say, "What's the latest news on CNN?" And it will tell me the top stories and give me what happened. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't even have to go to CNN then.
And see, I don't trust AI as far as I can throw it. So that's why I basically go and get the information myself.
Yeah.
If I want to watch, if
But
I
but at
want
the
to,
end of the day, people are reporting the same stuff on CNN though, Kenny.
which is true, but I mean, I'd rather go to them because it at least keep them employed.
Mhm.
Despite half of them need to be unemployed, but they still employed.
Yeah, I guess it's just, to me, I love this podcast because me and Kenny can talk about stuff, and we really talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're not here just talking about the random, oh, guess who got married today. No, we're not
Mm-mm,
doing that. We're sharing
mm-mm.
knowledge with you guys about how the media works, what is really happening in the news, and what we need to watch out for, how to protect yourselves. We're telling y'all stuff that really can help you, you know.
Hmm.
And it's like, really, at the end of the day, I think CNN had every right to sue AI because
They need to.
they have to pay these people.
They need to sue AI, and I'm saying, like I was saying, AI is going to be the downfall of the world.
Yeah,
And mark my words when I tell y'all, this is going to be worse than iRobot and
yeah,
Matrix.
yeah. Because
It's
if
going to
somebody
be.
said, let's just say somebody went on YouTube and they said, well, I read Kenny's book and this is what happened in the book and that happened in the book or whatever have you. And maybe they don't know about it, but they go and type in, what is uh Ninja Sun the beginning about? And AI could just generate this instead of going to the website, to Amazon, and reading themselves, getting their interest peaked, and then actually watching it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So AI has then already given them the information and taken other information from people who have read the book, and that gives people a run through of everything that was in that book by people's views, or when they get to review the book, and then to the point where, okay, well, I don't really need to read it.
And that's so true. And that's why most artists and voice actors and all of them are like, that's why they're so upset about it, because AI is literally trying to take over, and it's taking over, it's taking over everything. And it's like, look, I want, the artists, because, like I said, there was a few people that wanted me to use AI. And I was like, I'm not going to use AI because it's stealing from people.
Mm-hmm.
It is stealing from people. You got the lady who created the AI music artist. She just types in the lyrics and everything, but where do the voice come from? She doesn't record
Exactly.
the voice.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say they heard a little Beyonce, a little Brandy,
Mm-hmm.
a little of other, vocalists that was on that AI, on that AI. She reached the
Mm-hmm.
benefits, but who are you stealing from?
Exactly.
The
And
lyrics.
again, AI has to create these sounds. Somebody was behind creating it, so you
Hmm.
still got to pay him or whoever that was that
Hmm.
created it. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like, people got to understand, this stuff don't just come out of thin air. You know?
And see, and that's why this is why I'm against AI.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give y'all an example. I did it. I did it with the comic book. They have an AI generated comic book. So I put
Mhm.
my character in there. I described the whole scene, and it got it so wrong. They put Ninja Sun in a desert in Egypt,
Oh my
and
God.
that's not even the story.
Right.
And
But
I'm
the only
sitting
way to
here.
fix that is by you having to do a complaint. You have to, and literally that's why sometimes I go into the search and I say, no, this is not what it is. No, this is, and it's very inaccurate with a lot of stuff. Not
Mm-hmm.
just, I've seen it. I can go in and type in something like, that's not what it is. And I'm talking about just
Mm-hmm.
other people, not even myself. I'm just saying, well, no, that's not correct. This is what really is. I'm the person. How you gonna tell the person that they wrong when they the person?
When I'm the one that created it.
Exactly.
I know Ninja Sun is not from Cairo, Egypt. He shouldn't
Yeah.
be in Egypt.
Yeah.
His place of origin is in Japan, Tokyo, Japan, where I
Yeah.
wanted him to be, not Egypt. Now, don't get me wrong, I do want to go to Egypt, but
Right.
that ain't where I had the story setting. So this is why you guys got to be careful with using AI too.
Yeah.
You got to be
It's
careful.
sad. I mean, we're headed in a terrible place.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we want to share with y'all, and take it for whatever you want to take it for. But you keep on. All I'm gonna say, keep on, keep on thinking that the YouTube got your back. Keep
No, they
on.
don't. No, they don't.
And
No, they
a
don't.
lot of this stuff that me and Kenny was telling y'all about, how these smaller you don't even see blog channels no more. They don't even promote those no more. And I'm gonna tell you something. They got it automated that way too. I believe it's automated that, hey, creators like this, let's not even bother.
If I'm gonna say this, if you don't have at least 100,000, if you don't have anything over like 10 to 15k subscribers and up, you're nowhere near in the algorithm.
No. And I've seen people that's literally like been on YouTube for 6 years doing blog, and I felt so bad. I saw a young lady the other day, and I said she's really trying her best, but she doesn't realize that it's always been against you, you know. And she's been on there for like 6 or 7 years, and she only had like 100 subscribers. How is that possible to be on something? And the content wasn't that bad. I actually watched a few videos because I was curious. You know, I do my research a lot, Kenny. I always got to go see what people are doing. And it wasn't that bad. She should have been well over 100 subscribers, being 7 years on YouTube. That's ridiculous, you know? So
we gonna have to come back, and I'm gonna have to tell you about my horror stories of being on YouTube. Because
I would love that. That's what we do. We have conversations here. And I know Wednesday we have a great show, y'all. We want to talk to y'all about some things, but we just trying to enlighten y'all. Don't be stupid. Okay. We're trying to give y'all really valuable information here, because I care enough to say, be careful. And anyway, the Bible says we should not be out here doing salacious stories and gossip about people anyway. So this might be a sign that God is trying to put some things in order. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know. But with that said, y'all, I guess if Kenny doesn't have anything else to say, we will.
I'm good, my love. Go ahead.
All right. We'll see y'all later.